Hello everybody, my name is Dusty and welcome to my channel. Within the next month, my college career, at least living in the dorms, is going to be coming to an end. And over the period of the last year, I've been kind of documenting how I keep fish in college. And those videos are all really old, but I kind of wanted to talk about what it's been like. As somebody who has lived in the dorms their entire college career and is now transitioning out, it's kind of a revelation, in a way, of how my life has been affected by this hobby while being in college. A while back, I made a video about why I decided to start keeping fish in the first place, especially during college, and to give you a little bit of a synopsis of that, I was walking around a pet store, stumbled upon a fish I really liked, bought the fish, put it in a tank that wasn't really a tank, it was more like a container, and then through learning about that one fish, I wound up in the hobby. But I feel like there's a lot more to fish keeping in college that's not really talked about, or that at least that I didn't talk about, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. In college, there's a lot of different kinds of people with a lot of different kinds of interests, but one interest that you really don't see all that often is fish keeping. While fish keeping is rated as the #2 most popular hobby in the United States, it's still something that when people hear you keep fish, they're kind of like, what? In fact, it took until this year, my 3rd year keeping fish, to actually know a teacher or professor who also keeps fish. Until that point, it literally just seemed like a sea of people who all thought I was weird. And maybe I am weird in my hobby, and maybe I go a little overboard, because a lot of people have fish in college, but not everybody's involved in the hobby. For me, I say I'm involved in the hobby because I am an active participant. I go to pet stores every weekend. I try to spend my money in local fish stores. I have a lot of tanks, and I dedicate my time to making videos like this. So I say I am a member of the hobby. Not everybody is. I put myself out there to try to educate the public on kind of how you're supposed to keep fish, set up tanks, get people involved in the hobby. But when you're in college, the hobby seems weird. For myself anyway, it kind of seems like I'm that token person, so when something goes wrong in somebody's tank or aquarium, they call me. It's like the first response they do. I walked across campus with 5 gallons of water, and it's kind of like one of those weird things where it's kind of what you're known for. Even the university police call me the fish guy because they have come to my dorm room before, not for anything I did, but because of some other events. They've come to my door and seen my tanks, and they decided to dub me the fish guy. Of course, they're not all good experience with people calling me names and things, but it kind of gives you a general idea on what it's like. When you own as many aquariums as I do, it's kind of hard to ignore the fact that there are things that happen that you can't avoid. For instance, if you accidentally overfeed one tank, your room smells, and that's just something that happens. That's why I have one of those back there, to try to help with that smell. I open my window as much as I can and kind of aerate the room, because things do happen. Additionally, if you have to do water changes and you take the dirty water out to the sink and you dump it in the sink, that can gross some people out. How do you walk those minds? You know, how do you avoid those types of instances, whether it's being called names or having a room smell or dumping dirty water? How do you get those things to get done? How do you get those things done without seeming weird, you know? Over the last couple of years, I've kind of navigated and figured out how to do those things and how to be successful in the hobby, even though some people think I'm weird. For instance, when I do water changes, I do it at night, so people normally aren't out and about. That's the best time for me. I start draining my tanks right around 10 p.m., and then by the time I'm done, it's roughly around 1 a.m. Usually people don't care at that point, and I also make it a point, and I want to make this clear, make it a point to clean the sink when I'm done. If you dump out that dirty fish water and it smells like fish and there's fish waste in the sink, people aren't going to like you. So I make it a point to bleach out the entire sink just so people see that it is clean, you know? Additionally, if your room smells, you know, making efforts like that to clean helps a lot. I have a lot of over there disinfectant. I also vacuum my room often. I make sure that there's nothing else that could be causing a smell, because I want it to be kept to a minimum. I don't think drawing attention to yourself necessarily is the right thing, but then again, I draw a lot of attention to myself because I have a lot of tanks. So there are a lot of positives to keeping fish in college. There's a lot of negatives as well, but I think if it's something you enjoy doing, there should be no harm, no foul in doing it. Do what you want, have fun doing it, and don't care what other people think about it. But at the end of the day, you do have to realize that you are living in a community. So like, I live with 50 other people on this floor, which means I have to be a part of that community. If somebody comes to you with a criticism, don't take offense to it. Use it to adapt and change how you are doing things. When somebody came to me and said, hey, your room smells like fish, what did I do? I started cleaning more. It wasn't something that was insulting to me. It was just something that was thrown out there as maybe something I could fix. When somebody addressed me and said that they think what I'm doing in the sink is disgusting, I addressed it by saying, hey, I'm making it cleaner after I'm done using it than what it was before I started. There was food in here, it was disgusting, I'm cleaning it out, you're welcome. So with that being said, if you have an experience with keeping fish in college, make sure you leave those in the comments down below. If you have any questions about what it's like to keep fish in college, also put those down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.